Welcome to your friendly neighborhood historian, where we discuss just enough history to inform, intrigue, and entertain. I'm Bill Petro. The history of the Carol of the Bells. The popular Christmas song, Carol of the Bells, is based on a Ukrainian folk song that initially had nothing to do with Christmas and was, in fact, popular in pre-Christian Ukraine. How did this folk song become such a popular American Christmas carol? And what was its journey from a Ukrainian folk song to a modern choral favorite? For a 1919 Christmas concert, Ukrainian choral conductor, arranger, composer, writer, musicologist, and lecturer Alexander Koshids commissioned a song based on Ukrainian folk melodies and created a national chorus to sing it. Ukrainian composer Mykola Leontovich accepted the commission and adopted an old folk song into Shchedryk, which he premiered in Kyiv in December of 1916. The Ukrainian word Shchedrej means bountiful. Leontovich was a prodigious choral conductor, composer, and teacher. Born in 1877 to a religious family in southwestern Ukraine, he completed seminary theological studies. He produced over 150 other classic works for choirs all over Ukraine and Russia. The original was a New Year song sung in April, using the old calendar's New Year in pre-Christian Ukraine. Only after Orthodox Christianity came to Ukraine in the 9th and 10th centuries did the calendar change to the Julian calendar, and the date of the New Year moved into January, hence becoming associated with the Feast of Epiphany. The folk song, known as The Little Swallow, ushered in the new year of spring by describing a swallow swooping into a house and calling out to the master to herald a bountiful new year, asking him to look at his livestock and what the coming spring will bring, including a beautiful dark-eyebrowed wife. The song and the chorus toured the West. In March 1917, the Russian Romanov dynasty fell. It had ruled part of Ukraine. For a short time, an independent Ukrainian state was declared in 1918. The Ukrainian president, Simon Petliura, realized the value of promoting Ukrainian culture, language, and music worldwide to gain support for the new state. Under Alexander Koshids' leadership, Ukraine first sent a choir of 50 men and women to Prague in Czechoslovakia in May of 1919. Then the choir went to 10 European countries and North and South America over 3 years. But Shchedryk was the standout hit from its repertoire. It was universally loved. The British magazine Punch said, "Shchedryk is one of the most beautiful songs of the program." The Brussels newspaper, The 20th Century, said, "A masterpiece of folk art." The Vienna press said, "Ukraine's cultural maturity must legitimize its political independence for the world." On October 5th, 1922, the Ukrainian Republican Kapell Choir debuted the song on their first stop in the U.S. at the sold-out Carnegie Hall concert in New York City. The New York Tribune said, "A marvel of technical skill." The New York Herald said, "A profound unanimity of feeling that aroused genuine emotion among listeners." And the New York Times said, "Simply spontaneous in origin and artistically harmonized." Even so, the New York Times confused their origin as being from Little or Southern Russia, and the choir had to correct the reporters. They went on to visit 36 U.S. states and 115 cities. Few at the New York concert would know that a year earlier, the song's writer, Leontovich, had been assassinated by the Bolshevik secret police, which later became the KGB. Russia declared Ukraine part of the Soviet Union 2 months later. In December of 1922, Petliura was killed in the middle of a Paris street on May 25, 1926. In 1936, over a decade after it debuted in the U.S., American composer Peter Wilhousky, who had Ukrainian roots, wrote English lyrics to the Ukrainian song with an explicit Christmas theme and named it Carol of the Bells. He copyrighted his new lyrics, and because he was director of music in New York City schools and broadcasted it on NBC Radio, the song became immensely popular. Demand for the sheet music soared. The song starts with an ostinato, a four-note repeating pattern that is as recognizable as the opening to Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. This song you've heard in other places. It was used in the 1973 Andre sparkling wine Christmas ad with glasses clinking like bells. It was featured in a scene from the 1990 film Home Alone. It was used in a 2012 NBA ad. It was shown on a 2013 episode of The Simpsons, and it was featured in a 2017 Audi Christmas ad. Over 100 years after it first came to America, recently at a concert in Carnegie Hall that was hosted by Martin Scorsese and American Ukrainian actress Vera Farmiga, the Ukrainian Children's Choir presented Shedrik along with the Ukrainian Chorus Dumka of New York and the Ukrainian Banderist Chorus of North America. They sang Christmas songs and contemporary Ukrainian choral works. Thank you for listening. I'm Bill Petro, your friendly neighborhood historian. You can find more details on this topic and others on my website at billpetro.com.